Hey guys, this is like the fourth time trying to make this video, but this is going to be an updated gun collection. You might be thinking, well, you just did an updated gun collection like 2 months ago. Well, everything from that prior video has been sold because I moved across the country. So this is where my collecting has picked up after that. It's kind of gone in a separate direction, I would have to say, from what I was purchasing before. So yeah, I'll show you what I have. The first thing I had to buy as soon as I got here was a 12 gauge shotgun, just because it's the gun you just always need. You always need to have a 12 gauge shotgun, in my opinion. So this is the Remington Model 11. This was obviously a used gun because, yeah, it's like 80 years old. But yeah, this has been cut down to 18 and I think 18 and a half inches, which is pretty cool. So it's a nice short little lightweight handy semi-auto. It takes 4 in the tube and 1 in the chamber, so the capacity is not too bad. It can only take 2 3/4 inch shells, but you know, whatever. It's not a big deal. I'm not really into shooting 3-inch shells anyhow. But yeah, it's a pretty cool gun. I mean, it's not in the best condition, but functions flawlessly. It's pretty fun to shoot. It's if you've ever shot a Browning A5, it's basically the exact same action. It's a long stroke reciprocating barrel. So every time you fire, the barrel comes back with the bolt slightly, and then it opens up. And then obviously if there was a round in the lifter, put one into the next chamber, and then on the last round it holds open. So that's pretty cool. It's a nice little gun, and I think I paid $200 even for this, so it wasn't a terrible deal for a functioning nice little 18-inch semi-auto 12 gauge shotgun. So yeah, moving on. That was the first gun I picked up. The second one, which was kind of an oddball, you guys might be wondering why this was the second gun I purchased, but this is the Swedish KG42 Lumen B. So this is the updated model. I think what the change was like the stainless steel gas tube and some other small modifications. I think something with the magazine release and graduated sight, something like that. But yeah, they're very cool rifles. I paid $300 for this, which I thought was not a terrible deal. It's a really interesting piece, as in how it operates. If you've never seen one operate, you release the safety here on the back, or you flip it to the left, and it bumps the carrier in the bolt about an 1/8 inch in. I guess it's on a track, and it bumps it forward a little bit, and then you grab these ears on the carrier, just pull this back slightly, and that's how you close the bolt. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting design. I mean, you don't ever want to get your fingers pinched in that. It's chambered in 6.5 by 55, which is a really nice flat shooting low recoil cartridge. It'd be great for hunting small to medium sized game, I guess. I don't know if I'd take anything too significant with it, but it's a very cool rifle, that's for sure. And yeah, I paid $300 even, so that wasn't an awful deal, and you don't really see these too often, so yeah. Then the next purchase after that was my, oh, and by the way, this was built in 1943, I believe. None of these saw too much action due to the fact that Sweden was neutral around that time during the war. So yeah, this is my 1942 Eichevesk built 9130 Mosin Nagant. It is definitely a beater. This thing has seen some use. That's I have no doubt about that. It's definitely definitely a user, but I mean, for how poor the bore is and how beat up it is, it still shoots really well. The trigger's obviously not amazing. There's a lot that's missing, but you know, there's nothing that I want to upgrade or anything like that. I just want to leave this stock, and just for how cool and how much history is involved with these rifles. I think I paid $170. I mean, I know these were going for $100 even like a little while ago, but I mean, I've seen prices go up and up and up with all surplus rifles, so I figured I might as well pick one up now while I can. But yeah, it's for how long it is, it's actually a pretty light little rifle. I mean, it's lighter than any Mauser you'd find, or of this length. So yeah, it's chambered in the 7.62x54R, which is a pretty venerable cartridge. I mean, I wouldn't be scared to shoot anything in North America with it. I mean, I'm not a huge hunter, but still, it's a pretty decent cartridge. But yeah, they're fun little rifles. If you don't own one, I think you should just pick one up, just for the sake of it, just because they are pretty, just interesting pieces, that's for sure, and they carry a lot of history, and you know, they're just fun to shoot, really inexpensive to shoot for a full-size 30 caliber cartridge. But yeah, try one out. They're fun little rifles, that's for sure. Next up is my 1954 Ishevsk built Russian SKS, chambered in 7.62x39. This is a handy little carbine. That's all I can say about it. I mean, I picked this up 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I only got out to shoot it once. I shot SKSs quite a bit before, and I was really holding off on buying one for a while. But the price, I've seen the prices in Canada go up slightly, and I can only assume they're just going to keep going up and up and up and up until they're matched with what people are paying in the States for these. I paid $200 even, which wasn't an amazing deal, and I know some of you guys will be saying, look, what are you talking about? That's one of the best deals around. But they're pretty common up here, because they are just they imported so many of them into Canada. So yeah, this is my Russian SKS. I figured I have to get one sooner or later, just because 7.62x39's ridiculously cheap to shoot. It's a pretty fun cartridge, and I don't know, say shit hits the fan, this is a bad gun to have as a, you know, everything carbine, I guess. Not super accurate, but not awful. I mean, I can hit a clay at 75 yards with no problem usually. So yeah, awesome. Moving on after that to the last but not least is my newest purchase, which is my 1908 built Swedish Model 96. This is chambered in 6.5x55. It's basically just a Mauser 98 action that's been toned down for the lighter 6.5x55. But yeah, I mean, for the money I paid for this thing is impeccable. Like, the stock is in amazing condition. There's very few scratches or dings. All the metal parts are in very, very nice condition. Like I said, these Swedish guns never saw it too much use, so they're all they're just nice. They're still really nice. So yeah, the bores are excellent. The everything about these guns are perfect, and I think I paid $330 even. So yeah, for $330 you can't beat the value you're getting here. You're getting Mauser 98 action, which, say if you're buying an 8mm German Mauser, it's hard to find them in Canada for that price. You're not going to find them that cheap. So yeah, I mean, for the money, these things are just spectacular, and $330 is not a bad deal at all, in my opinion, for what you're getting. This would be a great hunting rifle, I think. It has a really nice trigger, which I wasn't surprised, but I was taken back about how nice this trigger was. But yeah, that's all I have to show you guys. And actually, you might be wondering where my 22 is, because everybody has to have a 22, and this is my 22. And you might be wondering what this is. This is a Rock Island Armory M1600, and this thing is a total lemon. I would not suggest ever buying one of these. We purchased it and ran about 500 rounds through it, and we're having some weird light primer strikes, and then I took it apart for cleaning, and the sear was basically bent, so it's no longer functioning. The bolt still reciprocates, I guess, but yeah, so I'm just waiting on parts from Rock Island, which is taking a lot longer than it should, in my opinion. So and you're wondering where the stock is. That's actually I'm refinishing it as we speak, because it's just a really cheap softwood stock. It's like, I don't know, so it has to be it got scratched up a little bit, so I'm sanding it down and then finishing it. So yeah, that's the 22.